All right, you're all set.
Being 6:30, the conservation meeting for Tuesday, November 1st, 2022.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes for October 18th, 2022.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the next one is new public hearing for 3538 United Drive. And I'll read that in. So under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations in the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on November 1st, 2022 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a notice of intent at 35 United Drive for the proposed 130,000 square feet warehouse developed with associated site work. All right.
And I believe is Nick gonna present?
Hello?
You there?
There we go.
Hi, yes. Sorry, I didn't quite hear the question.
Are you gonna present for this one?
No, this isn't a matter that I'm associated with. I'm here just observing tonight.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So, anybody here representing it?
I'll go out and take a look.
Yeah, the next one too then.
No, don't know any reason. It might be too big, or might be big for. Big, that's flat tires would be typical, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve usually is here, but
Let me see here, what I can give you kind of an update
Yeah.
on both of these, which I would recommend we open them both and then continue. For both of the United Drive. You want to open up the second one?
Open up the second one,
Yeah.
put that in.
Yep.
All right, so for the second, for 3540 United Drive, under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40, MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, and the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on November 1st, 2022 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a notice of intent at 35 United Drive for the proposed 180,000 square feet warehouse developed with associated site work. All right, that's about-
Okay, I will give you an update. The 35 United Drive that we opened last hearing, they did the test pits this past week. Believe the reviewer is working with them on those test pits. At the same time, because we knew we had these other two 35, which now have actual street numbers. There's 38 and 40. That's why they're set up the way they are. They also did the test pits there as well. So I have a feeling that because the test pits were done, they're probably redoing some design work and plans. And the 53G money for all three projects has come in. So they were gonna do them all at once as a package instead of just separate.
My phone.
And I'm assuming that's probably why they're not here, is because everything's all in flux now that they've done all the test pits and actually have a set to go by.
did we,
I will tell you that the
Decide-
180,000 square foot, it's 150.
Okay.
So it's a smaller size. The 38 United Drive is redevelopment of a parking lot that's already there, and they want to put a warehouse on that site and expand it. The other one is a totally new site. It's all forested land, so it's a little bit more involved. Natural Heritage also has sent a letter in requiring some more information and wanting stuff, so that's going to be continued anyways because of that. They have been all assigned DEP numbers, So those are all set.
Yeah, this include the continued hearing too.
Yes,
I was just gonna say, is that,
yeah, that was the one that was the initial one that had the test pits needing to be done.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we found out they had 2 more filings coming in, they said, can we just send the 53G money and have them do all the test pits at once? Instead of having to set up the time to go out again to do them. And
what's driving the 53G, just the size?
the size of the project.
Did we ask for
It-
that? already?
The first one we did.
Yeah.
And after we closed that hearing, the other plans came in and then they asked and sent the money for all 3 all at once,
They did.
3 separate checks, and said, can we run the test pits all at the same time?
Okay.
And the 53G said, I can be there for the day and we'll just do them all.
Oh, he was observing
Yes,
and he'll review the plans and. as we
and
go along.
well, part of the problem was they wanted the test pits done, and we suggested to the 53G not to review plans until the test pits were complete.
Right.
Because if you start reviewing the plans and they have to all change because the test pits showed the wrong data.
Right.
Why waste your time and energy and the money that's coming? So
Could you please clarify for me, 53G?
53G is an outside consultant working on our behalf.
And
That's paid for by the applicant for a second set of eyes to review the plans,
usually done on big projects?
larger size projects.
And it gives us a buffer too with the public.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I guess I'll just continue each one then.
Yes, so
So for 35, 38, I'll entertain a motion to continue to the second. I mean, what is the,
Fifteen.
15th?
the fifth,
I'll make that motion.
15th.
Second,
All in favor?
aye,
And 35, 40 United Drive, I'll entertain a motion to continue that to the 15th.
Make the motion.
second,
All in favor?
aye,
And 35 United Drive. I'll entertain a motion to continue that until the 15th.
I'll make that motion.
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Okay. The next one is the Lincoln Street, West Center Street.
and Stephanie, I believe you're up.
Thank you. Yes, so I was able to get a hold of the 53G reviewer finally just at 4:45 today. So they said they haven't been in contact with you guys at all, but they are okay with everything except for one thing that they wanted to check. Unfortunately, they called while I was on my way home. So there's a couple dimensions and a couple things that I need to just double check. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that before this meeting to get back to them to sign off. So we will have to continue.
Okay, because the only thing I did receive an email from them again, like you got, it was late tonight, it was around 5 o'clock that it came through. And they basically, to us, had 2 concerns left. One was the house at 15 Lincoln Street. With the retention basin proximity to the house. The separation distance for structures determined upstream and downstream. Was one concern that they wanted to address or have you address for us. And the other one was the mounding report or that you gave for the groundwater for temporary storage in the basin and the house that's there. Because we do know that all 3 of those residences on Lincoln Street have had problems with water in their basement in the past. So they just wanted to make sure that was addressed.
Yes,
as well.
so I think the first one might just be a scale issue because they had sent some questions about dimensions and they differed from mine. So I don't think the first one is an issue. And the second is, yes, the mounding. So they again express concerns about the proximity to the house. So that's so yes, I need to look into that further just to give you guys a better explanation or them.
Okay, because those seem to be the only 2 issues that they were bringing up to us.
Yeah.
I think once those can get addressed. And again, if you can, I will be in touch with them to try to get them to have it to us well before the next hearing. So hopefully,
Yeah, that was my concern. I thought, I reached out, got everything they needed on the 24th and haven't heard from them. It's just very late to finally respond. But yes, that's the plan, is to
Okay.
close this out and to address all the concerns and make sure everything's buttoned up.
all right, so I'll get in touch with them and try to push their envelope a little bit to.
Yeah, now it's in my court, but yes, I appreciate that.
You want to
Thank you.
continue to the 15th, and then we can,
I'll entertain a motion to continue Lincoln Street, Center Street to the 15th.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
all right, I'll reach out to them, Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, the next one is off West Street. West Street. We made a notice of resource area.
Okay, I can give you an update on that one. I have been out to the field once. It's a pretty large site, so I'm working my way through it. Hopefully with the good weather coming up for the next couple weeks, I'll be able to pound out the rest of it. But I have been in touch with Matt and they know where we're at and what's going on.
And what are you doing there again? Confirming what?
Just confirming what their
There.
flags are. So
Yeah.
far, they're pretty good. I'm doing the outside before I tackle
Yeah,
the center.
Are they still up there? Still up there hanging there pretty good?
Yeah, it's a lot of briars and bramble.
I mean,
so.
When
those
was that
old
flag?
flags,
Yeah, when was that flag?
Year ago, year and a half ago. And they had to go out recently to update the positioning on the map, on the plans. So there's a lot of them that are fairly new and they're still in pretty good shape.
do we do that for all delineations? Go out and actually verify?
John does most of them and I've done any of them that have come in recently to
Right.
make
right,
sure.
but We go out.
Yeah.
That's the.
make sure that there are flags really there. And I mean, if there's a 53G, then we don't, but on this one typically, I did check the ones on United Drive.
So that was just still then be a continuance.
Yeah, so I would continue that to the next meeting as well.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to continue to the 15th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Beacon Street, that's just on there to continue. There is really no plans or anything yet, so that's just information wise. They haven't sent in an application. And the 586 Manley Street, we are working through that. They're working on getting all the paperwork and the building permits and everything in line and closing and all that. So
Getting
continue
closer.
that and they,
Those requests are good, but
yeah, they haven't gotten to the point yet where they're ready to take care of it. So we just need to continue that every 2 weeks until we finally get it. So I would recommend continuing.
And I'll entertain a motion to continue 586 Manley Street to the 15th.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We need to continue Beacon Street.
That's just
Discussion.
No.
Discussion.
Yeah, that's just the information.
Yep.
Your next item, signing, back when COVID first hit, the commission approved the chairman and the name to be a single signer. For documents as far as warrants and expense items. I would recommend, because I've talked to the powers upstairs, that we don't assign a name necessarily. Assign it, the chairman is authorized to be a single signer. Or if you wanted to have chairman and vice chairman or vice chairman, you
Yeah.
could do that.
You just call up and say that.
Right, I mean, and what it would be is you'd sign for the warrant item, and then the next meeting, it basically would be ratified because it would be up for discussion for what it was.
Basically, especially if it needs to be done right then and there. During the day, there's no way I'm gonna be able to be
Right.
around. So-
Normally, it's not,
I can do it at the end of the day. I can go to your house
Right. which,
and that's what I did the last time.
that's why I'm suggesting if we have a requirement of either or, and do it that way, or if you wanted, it's a discussion for you guys
And
to the,
And then it makes sense to remove the name from it, because then it's not something that we have to read.
right, you changed,
Yeah,
Every single time the office changes, the seat
Yep.
changes.
and that being said, one of the items, we have, and what brought it to the attention is, we have a resident that had requested a surety deposit return. And it's a health problem in the family, and they kind of wanted the money as soon as we could get it to them. And it'd been in the works for a while, but we couldn't get a single person to sign it. We had to bring it to you guys tonight to have you all sign it. And had this been done the day it happened and the request was made, we could have had somebody come in and
The
just sign it.
single signer would
Yeah,
have.
would have worked. Where the past chairman was the chairman in name was authorized to be it.
Right.
We were stuck.
So we have to just make a motion to.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll entertain a motion to have chairman or vice chairman sign the warrants.
To be ratified at the next meeting.
Oh, to be ratified.
Right, that way there, you guys all know what you got signed for, and that way they're just,
Okay, so
Make
ratified.
the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
thank you. And
Sign some documents.
sign documents, I will pass that warrant item. You guys sign.
I'm gonna have to bring the next one. I got one in my truck. I'm bringing it.
Barely remember.
And this one is for ink for the toner.
Pen.
Have a pen.
Carry a pen all day long.
Of course, you remember
That was
this one. Septic.
septic system on Columbus. It's all in, grass has been mowed a couple times.
Rub it in. Let's let the plan focus.
So we Mason one.
I'm not sure about doing that. You don't have to.
This one was from the last meeting. We just missed with all the signing we did that night. That's for the 586 Manley Street.
Okay,
What was this? This wasn't a 53.
That's-
Yes, that one, it is for the Lincoln Street, the last.
So-
page.
We pay them and we pay 53G and then they pay us. That all bill.
If the applicant gives us the money, we
Right.
put it into a holding account, so to speak.
Yeah.
The 53G then bills the town, and we take the money out of that holding account to pay the 53G.
And hopefully it ends.
And when we get too low, we ask for another check, replenish what they're using.
There they go.
Right. I believe that is all I have at this point. Anybody else have anything?
Any thing up on lamp post or anything like that? I see that they rated and done a lot of.
Most of the houses have been completed.
Mhm.
They haven't requested any certificates yet. I know there are closings on some of them coming up next, actually this month. So I'm sure I will be hearing from them.
There's only one occupied, right?
Right, the
Yeah.
first one. At least two other ones have purchase and sales on them. The real
Yeah.
estate agents have called saying the certificate of compliance has been issued yet, and I said, no, I haven't had a request yet. And they said, okay.
The one that's
So-
gonna be,
I have been asked to go up and inspect their stormwater systems, which I have done. I did go up and inspect their erosion control and mentioned that it was not in proper working order, and they got it fixed really quick. I mean, I was impressed how fast they did.
That first house on the corner, remember the house on behind them at
Yeah.
Water Piers? That
Yeah.
little swale,
So
solved the
far,
problem.
even with the 3 inches of rain, seems to have worked.
I'm sure you would have heard from them.
Right, they did call this week actually because the developer was taking down some trees behind the second unit on the right, just to do some clearing. And I went out to check where they were in the lines and the marks, and they were well outside of even the 100 foot on that corner. And it did appear that they were on their own property, not her property.
It's like a bunch of them, like, not too big, just sitting in front of the house now they are. So,
Yeah, there's, and I'm surprised there's two big, huge oak trees came down in one of the storms this past year. And that was part of the debris that fell into the back of the yard. So they were clearing that up, but the oak trees are in the 50 foot and 100 foot, and so they're just gonna sit there and
just run away.
rot away like they're supposed to and disappear, but
And I see that they're putting up, how many houses are gonna be on Scotland Street there? When you go past Maple Street there, you come in that way, go like you're going to the pump, the septic system.
yep.
They got a foundation in right there. Is there only one house going in there? Is that it for that area or?
On the Maple Street end, one and then one right on the corner. Yeah, there's two.
So there's gonna be two, okay. But that's coming along pretty good. I mean, they're doing a good job of keeping it clean. Everything looks like it's working right,
I did walk out into the field when I went up there after Mo called and asked where the swales were and everything was looking, and it's amazing how high the water table still is.
Yeah.
If you take a look on the northerly side of the development, the bottoms of those foundations they're putting in, they all have sump pump holes built into the foundation to start with.
Of course.
And the ones that just had the stone before they pour the concrete on top of it, those were filled with water.
Wow, that's scary.
So they're
Now,
very,
why wouldn't they insist they build them even higher? No.
more fill has to come in. I mean, they were, I mean, it was after the 3-inch rainstorm, so of course the rain was being held, but still I could tell that the water table was pretty high.
You always see where the river is by the bridge, if you come back over it going towards West Bridgewater. You get a lot of rain for a period of time, you keep coming and coming, you see the water. All the way up, almost up to that house that's been there forever, that one house that sits out a little bit.
Yep, yep.
Towards the highway, the water comes right up to that property. Usually and it's like,
And if you figure where that elevation is
yeah,
across,
and that stays right there, as you can see
Yeah.
going right across. So those, those.
so it is a high water table, and that's why they had to bring in the amount of fill they did to put the house.
But it's, be honest with you, well, it does, if you really look at it, it does go up in the back, but. At least they're keeping it somewhat even, it's not like mounted.
Right, they're all,
mounted.
yeah, the whole development is one level, and it's not little islands all over the place. And-
Yeah,
And even if you look at the basins in the back side, they haven't, I walked through them and there wasn't standing water.
yeah, there's
So-
water, then all of a sudden it's gone.
Right, and this is, I mean, this is construction phase basins, so they're not even the end basins, which normally, now they don't function anywhere near the way they should, and they're still not holding water.
Okay, so that's,
Motion.
entertain a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.